So I took my volunteering and my Hope for Hats and got inspired to start Crafts for Hope. Crafts for Hope is where I go into people's homes or, places of business or institutions and do some kind of craft with them. And then I ask them do they need anything? And they tell me what they need, and I try to make it happen. This is what Crafts for Hope is about. So now I am in the market because of my coloring and my love for coloring, and because of my nursing. I am in the market for some nursing coloring books. To that end, this is a realistic nursing coloring book. This is grayscale. This is done by Eileen Vick. This is a realistic coloring book. I appreciate this book, and I also am looking for like a whimsical gnomes and nurses coloring book. So if you are an artist, or if you would like to help me create a coloring book, Nurses and Gnomes, um, please contact me and we'll get that ball rolling. Right now, I would like to thank Miss Eileen Vick for supplying this beautiful coloring book. Like I said, this is more realistic, so not every picture in this book, some pictures may trigger you. I don't know. We'll see. Everybody's different. So this coloring book is called A Day in the Life of a Nurse, Jubilee, an adult coloring book, 50 mostly grayscale images depicting nursing life to color and enjoy, by colorist Eileen Vick, and the cover is done by Mogi Russell. So let's look at this book. It is a day in the life of a nurse. So here's a list of her coloring books. She's done 100 so far, guys. 100. This nursing one was um, 98, number 98. So she says if we have any trouble with a picture, to please don't complain to Amazon about it. Let her know, and she'll replace it. She'll make it right. So, all right. Now her Facebook page is Teaching Adult Coloring with Eileen Vick, and let's get into the coloring book here. I love these vintage nursing pictures. I love them a lot, so I appreciate this picture. This is a very nice picture. I'll definitely color that one. That's not too triggering. This one here is I was looking into becoming a flight nurse, simply because it's just something different, right? Now, when I looked into, I wanted to see how much it costs to actually fly the helicopter, not just be in the back, taking the patient, transporting the patient. And in the early 90s, I graduated in 96, so around 97, I don't know, I might have, sometime in the 90s, it cost $10,000 just for flight lessons to be a flight nurse, to learn to actually fly the helicopter. It's probably a lot more now, I don't know. This is what I'm saying, guys. This one is a gentleman in the ER, it looks like. Um, the easiest job I had was when I worked in the emergency department because they had a general room, they had a cardiac room, and they had a psych room. And no matter what your job was, you just did the same job every day, all the time. You did the EKGs or wherever you were assigned, you did the same job. And when it was your time to take a break, you took a break and someone else slid right into your job. Um, the ER was one of the few times I was able to get a break. A lot of times nurses are overworked and they don't get breaks. But the ER was always uh, well stocked. We didn't run out of supplies. We had enough employees, and we always took a break. So the ER was one of my easier jobs. Here is Florence Nightingale. Um, you see this hat? The reason the nurses' hats look like this in the early 1800s is because a lot of nuns were nurses, and the hats were fashioned after the nuns, resembled what the nuns wore. In the 1990s, it started changing, and then, of course, the uniform you have today, it seems like anything goes, right? Here's an interesting picture there, but it doesn't leave a lot to the imagination, you know. That one might be triggering for me. Not sure. Not sure. But like I said, different people act different ways with, different pictures. So this is more my style. There's plenty of times where I hugged Grandma. Although I don't know what this nurse is doing. Does she even have the stethoscope around her ears? I don't know. Anyway, interesting picture. This is a cutie picture, isn't it? When I was a little girl, I dreamed of being a nurse. Actually, that's not the way it went, but actually, my story is I was working at Burger King and it was too hot. And I'm like, darn, what can I become in life so that no matter where I live, I can do the job? They don't go by looks, they go by knowledge. And I know sciences goes by knowledge and not looks. So that's why I became a nurse. It wasn't because I dreamed of being a nurse ever since I was a little girl. But that's my story and I'm sticking to it. That's so cute. Oh, love that one. Love that picture. Here's a picture I can relate to. Plenty of hand I held when I worked in gerontology. This is my favorite picture in the whole book because I collect angels and I collect nurses, so nurses are angels. I love that picture. Love it. Love this picture. Although she looks a little like Betty Crocker. 1950s Betty Crocker. No. Nice picture. Alright, this one's a little triggering. Because of 9/11. 9/11 was quite a medical mess. And, yeah. And what's going on in the Ukraine and Israel and Russia right now. Oh boy. Okay, let's go past that picture. It's a little triggering for me. This is the way I prefer my pictures to be, I think. Grayscale is nice when you're trying to learn to shade. Like Eileen is teaching everybody shading. But I prefer, like I said, I'm also in the market for a whimsical gnome nurse type book. So that's a cute comic relief picture. I like that one. I like it. I like it. Hmm. Here's a good picture. Uh, I'll tell you, when I was a nurse, I wasn't that good with IVs. I don't know why. Um, if I had to try more than once, I would try to get someone else to do it. If I did it in the forearm, but like if I tried to get it in the forearm and didn't make it, I always did the hand. I don't like to do it in the hand because the person moves the hand around and it might beep more than usual in the hand, but I always could get it in the hand. For some reason, I can't, get it in the forearm as well. Some people had rolling veins, so you see, so this is the problem with these realistic coloring books. It sets me off on a trigger. But I really like this book. I really like this book. There's my that looks like a MASH helicopter, doesn't it? Just taking off too. Taking off. The H on top of the hospital stands for helicopter. It doesn't stand for hospital. It's a heliport. It's if you're looking down on top of the hospital, there's a big H, and it's for the helicopter to land. Oh, oh, look at that. I did. I never really gravitated to maternity nursing because at the time I did not have a child. I have a son, he's 19 years old. But at the time I did not have any children, and I was always afraid I would drop the baby. I never did, but I mean, I was always afraid that I would. Okay, here's Annie. Here's Annie wishing her 16-hour shift would be over. I did 16 hours. Now we just do 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts. But a lot of times, back in my early days, I would start a shift and then they would ask me to work a whole nother shift. And that was a little hard. There we go. There's a typical gerontology picture or even hospice. When I became a nurse, the first thing I fixed was my teeth. Because you're so close to the patient, You're always smiling, you're always giving them a hug or a kiss on the forehead or whatever. That's what this reminds me of. Ow, that's a nice picture. I'll color that one. That looks AI generated. Either way, that's going to make a nice coloring picture. Nice. Nice picture with this one, too. A nurse in the OR looking up at the BP monitor or the IV, but it's definitely an OR nurse. See, with the hat. Okay, that's a nice one. Spanish Lookout Rescue Team. Spanish Lookout Rescue Team. SLRT. Spanish Lookout Rescue Team. Now this is one of the modern ambulances. Okay. I like because you can tell by the lights. I don't know what country it is, but I know it's a modern ambulance. This is a nice picture. Kim Kardashian looking. Like that one. I don't know why they have the pictures with the nurse with the stethoscope up against the chest with clothes on. You can't hear that way. I mean, you're going to hear the ruffling of the clothes. But I guess for the picture, there's a good one. Now this is going to be pretty to color because it looks like watercolor, or that looks like a virus. like a cell. See? That's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun to color. That'll be fun to color. Very nice. Your modern day nurse. We don't wear hats. She should have her ID, and I would wear my college pin all the time. We have a pinning ceremony where we take the oath, the nursing pinning ceremony, and I always wore my college pin. Here's a typical picture for hospice or gerontology. As a nurse, always don't wear your perfume too strong. Proper hygiene is imperative because you're always so close to the patient, you see. That's what I'm saying. Look how nice her veins are on her hand. That's why I always did the IV in the hand. Your veins are always good in your hand. Oh, I like that. How nice. Cute. Isn't that adorable? Oh, I'll definitely color that one. Oh, nice. Definitely color that one. And we have, see, this looks like a uniform in the 1900s. See how they started to change? Where's that picture? See, that was in the 1800s that they looked more like a nun. And then in the 1900s, they started changing like this. So this is a 1900 vintage picture. Like I said, if you want to go to her Facebook page, it's Teaching Adult Coloring with Eileen Vick. She has a YouTube channel. She colors every night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. Now see, this is a little triggering. But that's the way it is. I think he's flying. See, she's got on a flight uniform. I think he's flying to another hospital. Okay, Annie, it's just a picture. Take a breath. You see what I mean, Eileen? Some of these books are triggering. Some of these pictures are triggering. Oh, look at that. Maternity nurses. In Japan, it looks like. Very good. Here's, move out of the way. He's having stomach pains. He might throw up. I don't know, Oh, that's a cute one. This is a cute one. That's adorable. This is the kind I'm looking to make, whimsical gnomes and nurses, with this kind of, not the grayscale. I want one grayscale book like this one, a realistic grayscale, and then a nurses and gnomes and whimsical black and white coloring like that. That's cute. I like this one. I always like the angel ones. Very good. That's a good one. Now, what would you do with that background, Eileen? Would you leave that black? Would you color it with chalk? What would you do with it? See, I gotta take the classes. I gotta learn. Now, this is a newborn baby. Now, every time a baby is born, guys, we clean the baby up, make the baby nice and warm, and we always put antibiotics, ophthalmic antibiotics, in the baby's eyes, because just in case the baby caught a bacteria, on the way out, right, being born, we always put antibiotics in the baby's eyes. That's why her eyes they look slimy. It's on purpose. She's got medication. Oh, yep. This is what we would use in pediatrics to get the little ones to. We would either demonstrate what we were doing to the child, or we would play with the bear so the little one wouldn't cry. I remember that. That's a happy memory. Another typical nursing picture. Looks like she's taking a culture for something. There's a nursing student. I just graduated. I'm so happy to be a nurse. Love it. A little anime going on here. Love it. Here's your pediatrics. He's probably sad he just got a shot. It's okay, Joey. It's gonna be okay. Your mom's gonna be here soon. Teaching adult coloring with Eileen Vick. Yeah, okay, I did not know. This is a ambulance, a close-up of a emergency vehicle, ambulance. But this is the old type. See, these are the old horns. They don't have that anymore now, right? But yeah, that's an ambulance, top of an ambulance. Thank you, Miss Vick, for telling me that. And no longer do nurses look like French maids with their uniform. But this was in the early 1900s. See, I want you to notice too, I mean, this isn't a history lesson, I know that, but let me show you. See how this looks more like a nun cap, see, with the long. Notice by the 1900s it started to change. And notice her hat is on top of her head, short now. Well, now we don't wear any cap. But that's how I know whether a picture's 1800s or 1900s. And then here, Ms. Vick says, thank you for buying my book. Enjoy your free bonus page, Eileen. Yep. I held plenty of hand. And another reason, I became a nurse is because the Bible says, whoso giveth a cup of water in my name giveth it unto me. And we give out a lot of water when we're giving out medication. So, there you go, guys. There's my beautiful, realistic, grayscale coloring book. Made by request from me. So that was really nice, Eileen. And colorist Eileen Vick, covered by Mogi Russell. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. And all the links and everything will be in the description, guys.